All right, I'm gonna make this video really short. What I did was I just kept the information that I recorded during class on this paper. So, this first part is for the straight time straight time notes. That's what this is. This is the straight time, oh, my pen's not plugged in. Okay, so this is the straight time notes worksheet. If you want to, I don't know what this happened is. Straight time. What that means, right? This is the note part. What that means is you just take your hourly rate. Here in this first case, they make $8 an hour. We multiply times the number of hours worked. You want to make sure you round to the nearest penny. Okay? In this third example, second example, 10.25 an hour. We work 24.5 hours. You multiply those together and you get this number. Please note over here on the right-hand side in the blue. When you type this in your calculator, this is what is displayed. When I say round to the nearest penny, that means that's the 2. So we look at the 5. 5 or above, we give it a shove so that it becomes 13 cents, just like it is right here. Okay? Please don't have 3 digits. That would drive me nuts. So straight time's pretty straightforward. You literally multiply your hours worked by the amount you get paid per hour. So if you want to look at the worksheet and try to see if you know what you're doing, but it's just multiplication. So in example 1 here, we took $12.75, which is the hourly rate, times the number of hours he worked. Apparently he worked 0.23 hours, that's crazy. And then that's what his pay was, straight time pay, right? This is non-tax, this is gross income. For number 2, we took the $30 an hour times his 32 and a half hours and we get $975. For number 3, makes $15.80 an hour for 34 hours. That is how much their straight time pay is. For number 4, it's a little more in depth, right? Because this person has 2 jobs. So his first job, he makes $18.25 an hour for 36 hours. I multiply that here and get $657. Then he also has a part-time job. He worked 15 hours and makes $13 an hour. So we take our $13 an hour, times our number of hours worked, and get 195, add those 2 together. That's his straight time pay. That is straight time pay. Then when we talk about overtime, if you hear the words time and a half, this is the overtime notes worksheet. When you hear the words time and a half, you want to multiply by 1.5. Okay, that is how you get your overtime rate. Many jobs usually offer time and a half or 1.5 times their hourly rate. Some places will pay you 2 times or double time. That is when you multiply your hourly rate by 2. So in this first part of this, all we do is we know that this person is working a 40-hour week. We take that number times 40, that gives us $648. To find the overtime rate, that is the amount of money the person makes during their overtime shift. Anything over 8 hours a week, or 8 hours a day, is usually overtime, or anything over 40 hours a week is usually overtime. So to find the overtime rate, we take his hourly rate, $16.20, times 1.5, round to the nearest penny, so that means he makes $24.30 per hour for every hour he works in overtime. In this first row, he works 8 hours of overtime, so we multiply those 2 together and get $194.40. For the total pay, that is straight time plus overtime. That equals total pay, okay? Oh, my plus sign back. So your straight time pay plus your overtime pay is your total pay. Same thing next row. Now you make $14.52 an hour for 40 hours, right? Because this row is all 40, so times 40 gives us this. So times 40, both of these, right? Times 40. That gives us the straight time pay. Then we do our overtime rate. 1.5 times $14.52 is $21.78 per hour for overtime. Times 4 gives us that overtime pay. Add the overtime pay and the straight time pay, and we get our total pay. And this last one, they're making $32.25 an hour times 40 is $1,290 for the week. Then their overtime rate is 2 times that. So we multiply the straight time pay times 2 and get $64.50 times his 6 1/4 hour So he made $430.13 in overtime. Add the overtime and the straight time, and you have your total pay. Down below here, there's a couple things happening. So first, the straight time, just like the chart above, you take their hourly rate times the number of hours worked equals straight time pay. For their overtime pay, we needed to figure out what that overtime rate is. 1.5 times. You see it says time and a half. That means multiply by 1.5, which is what I did right here. 32.25 times 1.5 is $48.38. That is the overtime pay. Rate. I'm sorry. Rate of pay. Right? So then we take that number times the number of hours he worked overtime. It tells us right here he worked 12 hours of overtime. 5 times 12 is this. This is his overtime pay. Add these two together, these two circles, and we get a total pay of $1,870.56. All right, the last one for the notes here. So this scenario is a little different, right? He works regular hours, $15.68. So he did that for 40 hours, right? It says he worked regular 40 hours. So here it is, 40 times that rate. So his straight time pay, $627.20. Then on Saturday, it says on Saturday, he gets time and a half on Saturdays and double time on Sundays. So time and a half is we take his straight time pay times 1.5, and that gives us this $23.52. That is the amount of money he makes every hour on a Saturday. Times that by 8, this is my Saturday pay. Then on Sunday, he gets double time. We take that $15.68 times 2. That gives us $31.36. He works 7 hours on Sunday. We multiply and get $219.52 on Sunday. Add up all of these, and we have our total straight time pay for the week. All right, hopefully that makes sense to you. The last thing we talked about was time cards. I use my fingers just to let you know, because sometimes, you know what I mean? But think about a clock, okay? So if I clock in at 8:15 and I take my lunch break at noon, 9:15, 10:15, 11:15, well, that's 3 whole hours, and 45 minutes makes us the 12. So you just want to calculate your time. Then over here in the total, what I did was I added up all my hours. So 7 plus 8 plus 7 plus 7 plus 8 gives me 37 hours. And then I added up my minutes. 45 minutes, 45 minutes, 30 minutes, 30 minutes. That gave me, what did it give me? I need my help. I have it written down, but I don't. All right, so 45 plus 45 plus 30 plus 30 is 150 minutes. Remember, there are 60 minutes in an hour. If I take 150 divided by 60, that tells me how many hours there are. So 150 divided by 60 says I have 2.5 hours. I add the 2.5 to the 37 I already counted, and that gives me a total of 37.5 hours. Right? That's time card. You got this. All right, we only did number 1 in this notes example. Eddie is paid $17.25 per hour for a regular 37-hour week. So he's really lucky. He doesn't have to work 40 hours before he makes overtime. His overtime rate is 1.5 times his regular hourly rate. So we use the time card from the above, right? So we're going to use these hours to determine what his total pay is. Well, 37 hours is his regular time. So we use the regular rate. 37 times $17.25 right here gives us $638.25. Now we need to calculate his overtime. Well, he only worked 2.5 hours overtime, right? Because 39.5 minus 37 is 2.5 times his overtime rate. Remember, the overtime rate is the regular rate. That's not right. Regular rate times whatever it is. So this one's 1.5 or 1.5 times or time and a half times 1.5. That's how I got. So I took $17.25 times 1.5. That gave me $25.88. Multiply that times the number of hours I work, and that gives me $64.70. Add these two together, and we get a total of $702.95 for that paycheck. And I guess you could sign it at the end. All right. All right, so that's that. Check it out. Do your work. I hope you feel better. Talk to you later.